Now moving on now, reports from the Democratic Republic of Congo say a train has overturned, killing at least 24 people, mostly children. More than 30 others have also been injured. The accident in Kasai province involved a cargo train carrying stowaways. Authorities say several wagons fell into a river and they are not sure if people were in them, so the death toll could rise. It's the third rail accident in the area in recent weeks. Meanwhile, in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has finally reached his destination after being stuck on a train for 4 hours. The ruling African National Congress tweeted that the president has alighted at Gauteng province as he continues his campaign tour ahead of the May 8 election. The spokesman for the agency that operates the railway service in South Africa says the delay was caused by another train that had stopped after its driver was hit by a brick. Mr. Ramaphosa and other passengers were stuck on a journey that should have taken 45 minutes. Reports say some frustrated passengers climbed out of the train to look for alternative means of transport, while traders operating near where the train stopped were selling their market to the passengers. Now, over the weekend, Algerian citizens in the French capital of Paris came out in their numbers protesting President Abdelaziz Bouteflika's regime. Several hundred protesters of Algerian origin gathered to demand political change at home, calling for the president's resignation. Well, as one may have wondered, France has been rather quiet on the protests in Algeria against President Abdelaziz Bouteflika. Charles Television spoke to the French ambassador to Nigeria, Jerome Pasqua, about France's attitude towards the situation in one of its former colonies. He says France is not oblivious to the protests, some of which are taking place in Paris, as you've just seen, but would prefer not to interfere in African issues like it has been known to do so in the past.
African issues have to be dealt with by African people. We are not going to intervene. We are interested in what's happening in Africa. Relations between France and Africa is very important for us. We have very much issues to deal with in common, but it is to African people to solve their own problems. This is true in Algeria, it's true in Nigeria, this is true everywhere. We do not want to be telling African people what they have to do. We are ready to help, we are ready to cooperate, but it is up to the African people to decide what they want to do. That's really the sense of the policy of President Macron. He said that very clearly. He said that when he came to visit Nigeria last year, which was, I think, a very successful visit. And the other aspect is that we really want to rebalance our policy. We have, in the past, we have been very much dealing with French-speaking countries in Africa for historical reasons. And now we want to go on with those countries, but also to develop relations with English-speaking countries, and first of all, Nigeria.
Now, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, health workers are being trained and supplied with materials that will help them control the spread of the deadly Ebola virus. The outbreak, which is the country's worst, has killed at least 561 people and infected over 300 since last year.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has increased efforts to address challenges in combating Ebola in the Democratic Republic of the Congo by training health workers to sensitize local communities about the virus and to provide them with materials needed to fight the deadly disease. Dr. Elaine Kakule Mangolopa and his team are at the forefront of the WHO Ebola response as part of the Infection Prevention and Control Task Force. Every day, the team visits health facilities and households where cases of Ebola have been reported. They do some decontamination work themselves and also provide cleaning supplies for the households and health workers to use to prevent the spread of the disease.
We have decontaminated up to 10 households, and all 10 cases were positive.
We also donated household kits, accompanied by psychosocial and communications teams to comfort families so that they could also have the key principles of hand washing and for this to be applied in the household.
The fight against Ebola depends on tracing people who may have had contact with the disease and could fall ill and spread it further. More than 60,000 people have been vaccinated in Congo, as well as 2,500 in Uganda, one of the countries at very high risk from the disease.
Still to come on the program. If you are a lover of sugarcane, you just might make some money at this Egyptian competition in Cairo. We'll find out how after the break. Please stay with us.